Hello there YouTubers and welcome Skygear Buys Games and welcome to another exciting episode of Building a Fleet. And today we're gonna see the fruits of our labor. You might remember a couple of episodes ago we showcased two prototypes of the Mamba class gunboat, and this is the final version. This is the version that will be pressed into service, and this design is a bit it incorporates most of the pros of the previous prototypes and incorporated into a new body and design. Now, many of the things you'll see is the same. Some things are different, so definitely see and check out what is different. Now, you might be asking what the lighting is for. That is mostly just for commemoration of the new and first large ship or capital ship that we are pressing into service. Now, the one main thing you'll probably remember is the front. Now, this is the it has the same frontal glacis armor, which is to bounce the shells or missiles or absorb them if depending on the caliber away from the ship, and to make it a little bit more lasting in combat. The big difference in here is I don't the previous variants were higher than the old one and didn't have as much armored length and width and thickness. So this one is thicker than the previous frontal armor, and it's lower, so it gives it a little bit more of a sleeker body design and a more gunboaty feeling, if it were. So this is going to be a bit more stand-upish in a head-on fight against bigger ships, and it can take the pounding. And also, you can even use this as a battering ram against smaller ships. It will still be able to take the damage. It also has lighting on the bottom for space traffic controllers to identify which variant of ship it is. Now, the rear end is also more protected than the previous models. It has just a little bit more thickness to it, so it can also keep the fight back there as well. Now, we'll get to the hangars in a bit, but as you can see, it has a moderate level of weaponry. One variant of the prototypes had overwhelming firepower, the other one had limited firepower. So this one, being a gunboat, they limited the firepower but gave it a little bit of an oomph. It has 10 Gatling turrets on the top and 4 on the bottom. So it has protection on both sides with a 360-degree arc of firing. So let's quickly head back, and as you can see, it's also a bit longer than the previous models. It's actually almost the size of a corvette, but it's still a gunboat, technically, under the BHC classification. Now, the other thing is, it is a modular ship design this time, meaning that it has modular thruster pods instead of having most of the thrusters either bolted on the sides or in the back afterwards. It actually has built-in pods. One is for forward thrust with one large thruster and 2 small ones, and in the front it has on the top one it has 2 large thrusters for braking on each side, and then of course up, down and left and right respectively. And also for a little bit of oomph, because this ship is longer and a bit more heavier than its prototype predecessors, it has 4 conventional medium iron thrusters as well at the back of the ship for just a little bit more thruster capability and being able to get from point A to point B a little bit faster. Because it weighs about 6.5 million kilograms, or I don't even know how many tons that is. Please let me know in the comments below if you know. So let's quickly go down, and now it has the same complement of fighters in the hangar base as the previous prototype variants, 4 on each side, so that's 8 total. You can have a little bit wider ships as well, depending on your needs and wants, but this one has attack fighter bombers, meaning that it has it's a very small fighter with a low silhouette, long ship but low silhouette, which means it's difficult to hit. We have 3 Gatling turrets and 4 rocket pods, so she can take out fighters, bombers, capital ships, you name it. They're very good at taking out. And as well, this ship is more of a carrier, although it has the Gatling turrets to take on a small fighter fleet. The main purpose of this is to be a fighter carrier basically, and hold out until the fighters can deal with the larger, less maneuverable ships, while the Mamba itself provides a fighter screening. So also these are now at the moment just known as Fighter 1 through 8. If you guys have any names or call signs or anything that you have for this ship that you might think of, please let me know in the comments below so we can name these bad boys and give them a spot in the BHC as well. Let's quickly turn off jetpack. Also, each hangar has red lighting to be put on and off to signal our pilots for combat readiness. Also, another thing that's a bit different is the airlocks are more defined and a bit longer, meaning it isn't so cramped and difficult to get in and out, and oxygen depressurization is less likely to happen now. Now, as you can see, ignore that bit, it has been through some weapons training. Now, as you can see, this ship is a bit more modular in design this time, and a bit more clean cut and less clutter everywhere, and more space. So let's quickly go to the back of the ship. I don't know actually what happened here. I can't remember this being a thing. Let's quickly just fix this up. Cue the repairing montage music. Alright, so that is fixed. I'll do a proper repair later. So now let's quickly look at the engine and reactors. It has a jump drive, so it is jump capable with 9 large reactors, so this thing can pump out a lot of juice and can keep its systems very well maintained as well. It has a decent amount of gyroscopes as well. Not the most, I will grant it, but it's more than enough to move the 6.5 million kilogram ship in a 360 degree. It has 3 gravity generators as well. Because of the length of the ship, it's necessary to keep all of the parts repaired. Not repaired, gravity for all of the ship parts. As you can see, 3 large cargo containers on each side, fully piped up and able to provide the weapon systems for ammunition and other things that this ship might be used for. Now, as well, she has a crew compartment on both sides. Each compartment can hold 27 crew members, so that's 54 in total. The minimum crew needed for a ship like this is 5, and the maximum is, as I said, 54. So, and it can also be used. Another main reason for the ship is to basically transport dignitaries, diplomats, and VIPs from planet to planet if there's protection needed, or their life is in danger from pirates or other corporations. So this ship is definitely the man for the job. As you can see here, here's the bridge control area. It's not the best system, but this is just a gunboat, so it's more than adequate to control of its systems. Now, as you can see, she is pretty long. You can't even get the full thing in view, but she is nimble. I do have to say, she's not that slow. Let's quickly pump her up. It's already 10 meters a second, so she can definitely keep up, and she can get from point A to point B in system very quickly. Then there's of course the jump drive, which is of course used for longer distance travel. She also has an SOS beacon, which we can turn on here, which should show up. Yes, no, maybe. I don't know why that's not working. As you can see, it's still a couple of kinks to work out. But the lighting can all be shut off. That's the interior lighting. That's the hangar lighting, I believe. Yes, hangar lighting. 4 is interior lighting, and 5 is, of course, the exterior lighting. So now she's a fully sleek and stealth gunboat and can travel from point A to point B pretty quickly. Although she will be spotted on radar, she's not as easily spotted as most gunboats of this class and of this size, so she has a little bit less of a silhouette basically. So she is a very good gunboat. The engineers, both engineers working on the two engineer groups working on the prototype variants, are very happy with this design. Of course, they are still improving and thinking of new ways to build for larger ships, but the gunboat will be the stopgap measure until we get to where we want to. But that is it for this episode. If you like this video, click the thumbs up and subscribe down below. We really appreciate it, and thank you guys all for your support and for supporting this channel for 3 years now, 3 years and 2 months. So I thank you guys so much, and also we will be, as I said the previous episode, we will be uploading as many videos this weekend as possible for my absence next week on a holiday trip. But I will be back next weekend as well to start the recording sessions that will be really needed for the channel and long overdue. But as for myself, the Mamba Gunboat final variant that will be pressed into service, we give our farewells and hope to see you next time on the channel for more Building a Fleet. But for this episode, that is all. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care and goodbye.